Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes,
I don't
you're
like
right.
that.
You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
Watch me.
Okay.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, September 13th. Scary. I'm here with Stephanie Torrey. Okay, Al, we'll get to that later. Al and I'm Sam. Brandon has the day off. Let's get right to it. Well, Felicity Huffman will learn her fate today in the college admission scandal. We are monitoring what's happening at the courthouse and will break in with the sentence as soon as it happens. Felicity has been accused of paying $15,000 to increase her daughter's SAT score. The decision is expected around 2:30 Eastern time. Now, many people on social media, Al, speculating, does she deserve jail time? Yeah, she deserves jail time. I don't think it's going to be not nearly as long. And I think people need to realize this. Her offense is starkly different from Lori Loughlin's. I don't want people to glob them into the same category. And
Which is what we ask people to do on with all the things we discussed. So yes.
Yep, and I also know.
And tell people really quickly how they're different.
Yeah, so Lori Loughlin, I mean, she's accused of paying $500,000 to USC to get her kids into that school, and by faking them as rowing recruits,
right,
and staging photos and things like that. Now with Felicity Huffman, this is asking for more time on an SAT and then doctoring that SAT. Both egregious, but one is far more egregious. And we also see, Al, the difference on how they're handling this. We've seen ownership from Felicity Huffman. So considering the ownership, should she go to jail?
Sam, I'm just not, and this goes, obviously, there's a lot of people in jail that shouldn't be there. I don't know why that's our go-to with everything. Should she see jail time? Maybe. Would that help anybody
Yeah, but
here?
what about, I think about the precedent, and please chime in. I think about the women, I think about that woman, her name's escaping me, that in 2011 had Tanya Montgomery
but
that had to.
out of jail. I don't know if.
She is out of jail. She served 5 years.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we need to focus on prison reform rather than just trying to teach this rich lady a lesson. I don't know if anybody's lives will be better with this woman going to jail. I don't know what she could do to make this better. I think that's why you sit down and talk about things, but we are the country where if 1 in 4 people that are in jail in the world are here. So 25% of people in a world of 7 billion people are here.
I'd rather see people with lower level drug offenses taken out of jail than Felicity Huffman
fix
and
the
Lori
entire
Loughlin.
thing. But yes,
I know.
Do you want jail time though? What do you think?
Yeah, I want a select amount of jail time. I'm not saying a lot of jail time, but a select amount, considering that she robbed the position from someone else's education. You can't do that.
I think for what you said was the precedent. I think a lot of people won't see this as justice if she doesn't see some jail time because of people of color in the exact same situation or less have seen way more jail time. So if you want justice, I think that's where it plays. You're right with precedent.
What do you think?
I think, will she go to jail? No.
What?
I want her to go. That sounds really awful, but for herself, for her career, for the justice of many other people, I think she should go. But the prosecutors are recommending 1 month in prison, 12 years of supervised release and a $20,000 fine. So when I looked into what that means, it means that the prosecutors are saying the time that she'd be going into jail is so pointless, it's almost like there's no reason for her to go.
I would say within 10 days I'd be happy with.
Yeah, you just want to see her in jail.
I just want there to be something.
Just for justice.
Yeah. All right. Well, chime in, DBL Nation. We do want to hear from you. It all came down to last night for the top 10 Democratic candidates who for the first time shared one stage. And we want you to decide who came out on top. But first, there were a number of awkward moments. Watch.
Under my legislation, people will not go into financial ruin because they suffered with a diagnosis of cancer. And
I am Asian, so I know a lot of doctors. Thank you, Vice President Biden.
Because it got done before. I'm the only one up here who's ever beat the NRA.
And a lot of people on Twitter lit up after that, thinking that Biden had denture problems there. Well, of course, there were also some more substantive moments, like when Beto O'Rourke spoke on gun control. Take a look.
There weren't enough ambulances to get to them in time. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
And last night, a Republican representative from Texas responded, tweeting, Beto, quote, "My AR is ready for you." Beto is calling the comment a death threat, saying clearly you shouldn't own an AR-15 and neither should anyone else. Also, last night, the gloves came off as some candidates squared off with frontrunner Joe Biden. Take a look.
My plan would do that. Your plan would not.
They do not have to buy in. They do not have to buy in.
You just said that. You just said that 2 minutes ago. You just said 2 minutes ago that they would have to buy in. You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for
Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Ooh, and candidate Andrew Yang had a very interesting proposal that could leave you a little richer. Watch.
Precedented tonight. My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families. Someone watching this at home right now.
Whoa, okay. So who do you think won the debate last night? Chime in, DBL Nation. Go to dblvote.com. Tell us what you think. Tori, who won the debate last night and who lost? Like, of all of them, who was the worst in your opinion?
I have a limerick.
Which she wrote herself.
This is what I wrote myself. Here you go, because it was long. So I'm going to just sum it up easily. Ready? There once was a Dem debate that actually wasn't that great. Warren was strong.
Very.
Biden went long.
Yes.
And Julian tried his best to dominate. So really what you saw was a very, thank you everyone. What you saw was a strong Warren, a fumbling Biden, and Julian Castro coming out really blazing with anger. And if anyone's interested, I think that means he's gunning for the vice presidential seat, because you want someone to do your dirty work. So he's a guy that can take those shots. He's a great guy to be for your vice president.
Well, I thought Warren came off very strong, and I'm sorry. I thought Bernie Sanders' anger is appropriate. Why wouldn't you be angry considering the place that we're in 2019? So for everybody on social media saying, why is he so angry? He should be angry, and so should you, until we all feel like that we are treated equally.
Yeah, I think the Democrats as a whole lost. I think every time that they have a primary, they lose, because what happened, like what Beto O'Rourke did, even though I agree with him to get rid of the guns, the problem with things like the primaries is they're going to pull you even further left, because you have a candidate like Beto that's going to say, I'm going to hunker down with guns.
But I disagree.
And he's going to make everybody, he's going to make everybody on the panel say, Sam, how do you feel about guns? He's going to pull you to the anti-Area 15 side. Then you're going to win the primary, go into the general, and everybody that's pro-gun, you're dead to them.
I think it's too extreme.
I disagree with you on this.
Because the Republicans aren't primary, nobody is going to have to take an extreme position over there, so they're not going to.
But
you're going to lose the battle before you get.
Beto is trying to shape it. He knows he's going far.
But he's preaching to the choir. He's preaching to Democrats. What about Republicans?
Literally, I think he's preaching to the 98% of Americans that want that kind of better gun control. He's talking to voters. I don't think he's talking to Democrats. What he is looking for, which I think he'd be great at, is the national gun czar. We could have someone who'd be in charge. Remember, that was what the Parkland kids wanted. He would be a fantastic person from El Paso to take that position.
Final thought.
I know we got to move on, but just do you remember when they said, how does everybody feel about health care for immigrants when they come in this country, and they made everybody raise their hand? It was over right there, because all they needed was that picture of all them raising their hand.
You've got to be strategic.
And most of America saw all these candidates are going to give your money away. That's all they see.
But it's shaping opinion.
I see what you're saying. I agree with you.
It's shaping opinion. But let's look at what our audience had to say. But Tori, thank you. And thank you for your poem.
My limerick. Thank you.
Yes, limerick. Yes. It looks like Warren 28%, followed by Sanders at 25%. Wow. Let's see what Biden had. I was just curious. Did anybody see what Biden had?
Can we bring it?
He is the front runner. I think it was 12%.
It was 12%.
There you go.
He is quite quickly going down. And Sanders
coming off very insincere. Well, it was a very dramatic moment when former cheerleader Brooke Skylar Richardson found out her fate in court yesterday. She was accused of killing and burying her newborn daughter, which she says was stillborn. Here was her reaction to finding out what the jury decided. Watch.
Verdict Form 2, involuntary manslaughter. We, the jury, in the above captioned case, do hereby find the defendant, Brooke Skylar Richardson, not guilty of the offense of involuntary manslaughter. Count 3, child endangerment. We, the jury, find the defendant, Brooke Skylar Richardson, not guilty of child endangerment. It does say we further find the defendant did not cause serious physical harm to the alleged victim.
But she was found guilty of one charge, abuse of a corpse, and today she was sentenced to 3 years probation. Listen, Stephanie, I know you and I both read the details. I'm sorry. I have a lot of trouble believing this young girl.
I mean, I wasn't in that court. I don't know every single piece of information. I do know that her psychologist, that's the right word, psychiatrist, has said she's got personality disorder. And
well, she did. Let's put it out there. She did admit. She did admit to the police.
She confessed.
She did confess. She also said that she wanted to cremate the baby and took a lighter to the baby. However, all that then during the trial, Stephanie, was disputed by her psychologist, saying she had a personality disorder and she was just trying to please the police officer.
What I find so bizarre is that I just can't wrap around my head around how she would feel guilty or bad about she's taken her own child, which apparently no one knew about, and disposed of it in her parents' backyard.
And then talk about the text message right after.
And she sent her mother pictures of herself shortly after giving birth in the gym, like hours after she went to the gym. So obviously the poor child obviously had passed. So I don't know how that isn't neglect to a child, because it should have been in an ambulance to a hospital. It makes no sense to me.
You don't know if it's stillborn at that moment. Babies come out all the time with fluid in their lungs. Like, you do something about it. You call 911. You try and save the child.
The text message she sent to her mother was, "My belly is back. OMG, I've never, ever, ever letting it get like this again. You're about to see me looking freaking better than ever before. OMG."
And she was at a gym.
And she was taking selfies in a gym. So there is a book that I just think this is like so weirdly close to this book. There's a book by Jodi Picoult called The Plain Truth. It's about a young girl that grew up in an Amish community that was pregnant in secret because she felt fearful of her life in the community.
Which happens, and I understand that.
I understand that.
Yes.
And she sadly killed her child and hid the body, and it's very weirdly similar. And the traits of the two girls, it's very strange.
I don't feel good about this one at all. Listen, we have a confession. I know that there's coerced confessions all the time, but we have a confession. We have the text message. We have the fact that even if you have a stillborn in that moment, you panic.
Dude.
That could have
She's not reaching out to anyone. I know.
She seems shocked to be getting off.
Some mental health issues.
Well, okay, so she does have trauma.
Yeah.
If you look back, according to her psychologist in the courtroom, if you look back, she was abused, and that's according to like an ex-boyfriend or some. It's not a family member that I know of. So she was abused. She does have personality disorder. She does also have an eating disorder. So this is somebody that's struggling with mental health issues, but she's also very aware, goes to school, does all these other things. She knows the difference between what is right and what is wrong, and she's an adult. So I don't feel good about this one at all. And I don't know if a 19-year-old girl of color, if this case was happening in court, if she would have gotten off. So I think this is white privilege all over it, in my opinion.
I could see that.
I could definitely see that.
But chime in, DBL Nation, please. DBL's live coming up. Fire destroys a boy's home just hours before his birthday party. How firefighters went above and beyond. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Is stripping actually a form of female empowerment? Well, the author of The Handmaid's Tale thinks so. We'll share your comments about that next.
Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. That was one of our editors, Sean, just passing by. Happy Friday. We are happy to have you here with us today. You know what I'm not happy about today? I'm a little nervous about the fact that it's Friday the 13th and there's a full moon. No, but really, I'm going to go home and I'm going to stay there. It's one thing for it to be Friday the 13th, but it's a completely different thing for it to be a full moon and Friday the 13th. Let me know what you think. Are you superstitious? I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Hey-o! Let's go.
We're just talking about.
So
did. I'd probably tighten that one up.
Okay, what's happening?
Yes.
So, we were just talking about that case, and the defense said, look, a lot of other people who have babies sometimes put them in the dumpster and horrible things. She buried the baby. She put a flower of the baby.
So did Casey Anthony.
Right. I think this whole thing,
who was found innocent, fine, but you can look at the details. I covered that case for CNN. I know that case in and out. Casey Anthony, many people argued because she put a sticker on the baby's, tape on her lip, that there was compassion there. I think she felt guilty. I mean, she did have the child, so the child was 4 or 5 years old, Kaylee. So I think, but at the end of the day, I mean, she, just like this girl, she went out right afterwards, partying, having a good time.
Going to the gym, taking selfies and
I know.
saying, my body's going to be better than ever.
You're disassociated, dissociative personality disorder, maybe.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and I'm sorry, I don't buy. I get coercions happen. Believe me, we saw that with the Central Park 5.
Yes.
I understand coercions happen. With this case, according to the police and according to the documents and the tape, there was no coercion. It was just a girl trying to please the police officers. And to me, I just can't. I just know too. You don't know if you have a stillborn right away. The baby might not be crying because the baby might not be crying because it has fluid in its lungs.
No, but then, I don't
you're not a doctor.
Let's say even if you gave birth and you don't know what's going on, I would be let's say this happened to me right now. I'd be like, anyone who was there, help me, what do I do? Oh my God,
Yeah, because you don't know. Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, stripping is usually not the most respected job, but one famous 79-year-old seems to think differently. Handmaid's Tale author Margaret Atwood says that stripping can be empowering. She says women who work in strip clubs can feel in control, plus earn more money than they would be making lattes. But many feminists argue that this X-rated industry is outdated and exploitative. So DBL Nation, do you consider stripping empowering or degrading? Let's get right to your comments.
All right, Sam, let's do it. Lee from Facebook says, while I'm not against stripping or other forms of sex work, I don't think it could ever be empowering when it places the pleasure of men above the equality of women.
Well said.
Lee, yeah, Sam, that was well said. Lee, I always fall back when I'm on the fence with something is what is this? What is human will? What do these people want to do? I don't think that it's always the people's first thing to strip. I think that there's forms of abuse, there's forms of substance abuse, and all other kinds. But I just don't know if everybody that's stripping absolutely hates it. I don't think that's a
case by
thing.
case?
Yeah, I think it's case by case.
Yeah, Kim from Facebook says to see other people succeeding and earning money when you're stuck in poverty is tough. I think what Kim's saying is that sometimes people can look up to, I think that's what you're saying, to look up to strippers because they do make a lot of money, and how that can somehow be empowering. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong.
It depends what city you live in.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Some dancers aren't making a lot of money, and other dancers in other cities are making tons of money. So it depends.
Right. I think that the whole point is, what's your motivation for stripping? And if it's a good motivation to make money for yourself, for college, to educate yourself, cool. If it's not, yeah, that's tough. But any job's going to have that. So it depends on the case, I think.
Talia from Facebook says, I used to strip. Making money in that environment makes you feel worthless. Thanks for writing in, Talia, and being so honest. I think this is very difficult. I think it definitely is case-by-case situations. I've had friends that strip to pay through college, right. And did they love it? Probably not, but they earned a really good amount of money. They felt very safe, and they were very open about it with their friends, their family. But obviously, you see some cases where that isn't the case. So it's very difficult. I feel it's completely down to the individual and what state of mind they're in and why they're doing it.
Agreed. Laura from Facebook says women should feel like they are in total control of their mind and body if they decide to get naked for work. I agree. And sometimes you're not in control. Listen, I've had a handful of friends that have danced, and some of them have made it into very lucrative careers, and others have ended it saying that it made them feel completely objectified, worthless, because even when they are in control, you can't control the men that are groping you. You can't control some of the things that happen. And yes, they have security there, but sometimes it's too late when those things happen. So, yeah, I do think it's case by case, and I think we need to be very careful with overgeneralizations when it comes to stuff like this. Do we have any more comments? I think, okay, thank you for writing in, DBL Nation. Coming up, watch how firefighters saved the day when a boy's house burned down just hours before his birthday party. Heart Threads is next.
Are you jamming, Leo? You got music going? Leo's having a Friday. What's up, guys? Tori here. As some of us, feels like lower lighting, but that probably makes me look better. Anyway, some of us went to go see a sneak preview of Ad Astra. Now, if you guys don't know what Ad Astra is, the new Brad Pitt movie. Picture Interstellar meets Gravity meets The Martian, but with Brad Pitt. So, like, his dad was a famous astronaut. Now he is. There's a crazy scene in space. He looks really good. I heard some mixed reviews, and I wanted to know what people thought. So I'm going to get some people who saw it to review it here, but I wanted to know, get the temperature. How many of you wanted to see it? Some of you don't. Travis, did you see it or no? You want to see it, though. It looks like a really good movie for men and women. So let me know what you think, and we're going to get a review out here fast. Who saw Ad Astra? You're coming on break. Then you're all coming over on break. Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about turning a tough situation into something positive. Watch how a group of firefighters rallied together to make sure a little boy had a very special birthday. Brandon London has the story.
After he lost everything in a fire, firefighters threw this boy a birthday party. Just hours before 6-year-old Eric's birthday party, his mother returned from the party store to find their house in flames. Their home was considered a total loss. But the firefighters who responded didn't want Eric to miss out, so they threw him a huge birthday bash.
Decided to get together, throw him a birthday party, shower him a lot of gifts, bring his family, invite his family here, and just basically give him show him that there's a second family out there that he can rely on.
They gave him new toys and showed him how to be a firefighter. There was even a special appearance from Eric's favorite superhero, Batman.
There's no amount of thanks that you can give, like, for all of this, all the gifts and the time. They didn't have to do it.
It's beautiful. We'll be right back, guys.
It's Stu Magoo movie review.
We're back.
You guys remember that?
It's been a while.
It's been so long, guys. Stu Magoo, if you don't
good to be
remember,
back.
our old stage manager loves movies. Just saw Ad Astra.
Saw it last
Tell
night.
us.
Okay, so it's a sci-fi movie with
Right.
Brad Pitt. Set in the not so distant future, right? Like
As they are.
maybe like 50 years ahead. So
Okay.
it's very grounded and real.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say. It's gorgeous.
Oh.
Like cinematography-wise, it's fantastic. They really capture kind of the loneliness of space and have some beautiful shots of.
The preview looked like that was
yeah,
amazing.
it's gorgeous. The cinematographer's won Oscars. He's fantastic.
Good.
It's hardcore sci-fi, and I don't mean Star Wars.
Is it
I mean,
over your
like,
head, technically?
No, it's just very quiet and very.
Okay.
It's there's not a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of characters. You're not going to get the action scenes.
It's a lot of space.
Of like Gravity.
Okay.
Or even Interstellar.
Okay.
So we're going. This more feels like a '70s movie, where it's kind of 2001, where it's very minimal.
Almost Kubrickian.
A little bit.
Interesting.
The thing I'll say is it's also very much like Heart of Darkness. It's a man on a mission, like kind of chasing a ghost. So it's all about his kind of inner battle, and there's not a lot of other interactions with other people.
What do you think about the acting people are writing in?
Brad Pitt's fantastic.
Okay.
I will say that. But it's kind of a one-man show.
Okay.
So if you're expecting fights and villains and conflict, it's not going to give you that. It's very introspective, very heady.
So more quiet, heady, deep movie.
Beautiful. The score is amazing. All that kind of stuff.
So guys, let me know if you're interested. Or I heard It 2 made, I think, $91 million.
If you're looking for like an action-packed
That's
thriller,
the movie,
the
and
movie
you've
to
seen that
see.
as well.
Yes,
And you loved it.
They're both very good, both very different.
Okay, so if someone wants an It 2 movie review.
Oh, we got
so
that.
we'll get that coming at you at the next break.
Yeah, I'm here all day.
All right, thanks guys. All right, let me know. Bye.
I just wanted to hear the review.
everybody, DBL Nation. Not only will Tori be spearheading the group, the talented Tori, but Al Jackson will be joining, and of course, Lindsey Granger. So we've all been dying and awaiting Lindsey to join the panel. She has very smart, very funny, very kind, but a different opinion, which is so welcome on the show. That's what this show is about. Are you ready?
I'm excited because I think that America is always like extremely progressive or extremely alt-right, and so there's some kind of middle ground. I think you and I can have these conversations and find like a good ground.
Guys, I'm in love. So we texted during the debate. I'm in love with her.
I have so much to say about the debate.
We texted back and forth.
I was so annoyed.
Yeah, and it was great. It was really polite, but really interesting. It's going to up my game. It's going to up DBL's game.
Well, that's the whole point, is to have these difficult conversations, but in a very, to be the example. And I think your panel will handle it just so well. I can't wait to see Al chime in. I do want to acknowledge that Stephanie and I will not be here. We loved being a part of this panel. We appreciate the viewers. Stephanie, of course, you can see in the evening and then during the daytime shows. You'll be able to see me still in the daytime shows, but we just want to like have a moment to say goodbye to the viewers.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome. Sam has been fabulous. She's still going to be here. Tori, this is your time.
Yes, Tori.
Lindsey, I can't wait to watch these two get it.
I can't wait.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be
awesome. But we're not going anywhere.
We're not leaving.
You know that we film like 6 shows a day, so just stay tuned. But no, we're very proud of you, Tori. We're very excited for you, Lindsey.
I'm excited to join you guys.
And Al Jackson, you know.
It'll be fun.
We know what to expect from Al. He always delivers. Well, we will see you same time, same place Monday. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Aww.
Thank you.